All right. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon for where you are. Welcome to the Diaspora Innovation Days in Africa. My name is Bora Kamoya, and I have the privilege of moderating this session on Beyond Remittance, Access to Information and Job Creation. We have the honor of having with us today Mr. Jan Huguenard, CEO of YH Consulting, and who served the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, for 8 years before founding his consulting company. Throughout his experiences, he engaged in conceptualization and implementation of innovative projects relating to entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship, digitalization, and the inclusion of the diaspora as a unique development agent over the African continent. Welcome, Jan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We also have the honor of welcoming Ms. Oluwafemi Kijo, an IT business engineer, passionate about digital branding strategy, co-founder of Dokunvi, a Pan-African agri-food service company, which aims to set up an enabling ecosystem in order to develop and support the emergence of major African agri-food brands. Welcome, Oluwafemi.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we have the honor of welcoming Mr. Charles Bolu, director and co-founder of Rural Nigeria Hub. Charles is a information technology architectures expert with interest in innovation ecosystem and empowerment of young people using STEMs, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for joining us. Throughout this session, you'll be able to ask your questions via the chats or via the Q&A. And you can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube with the magics of the internet. My first question will be for Mr. Jan. Jan, okay. Given your experience and expertise with UNIDO, partly, could you tell us more about the INOE project with this UN project, UN organ, and also can you tell us more about your consulting firm?
Yeah, introduction. Sometimes, I'm like quite impressed by how the big words are put, in bio. Like you put me on the spot there. So yeah, no. Basically, like you said, I've been serving the United Nations for 8 years. First in my career on industrial development for the Industrial Development Organization and focusing on the African continent. The prospect there was really like to build capacities and intervene in the value chain, the agro-business, the transformation, certification, access to market, and build entrepreneurship and also capacity building of locals so that they can strive forwards, right? Through that, I've been involved more and more with ADYFE, that I now has the real chance and really the honor to co-organize the DIDA with. And basically, we started to take a real deep dive on how to really include the diaspora inside the development stream. So we created and we continue enhancing partnership between institutions and ADYFE. Yusuf, the co-chair, and all his team we're already working hard on this. So I did my humble contribution and supported them in doing so. And the purpose of all of that was to include them as a real development agent at the core of what was happening at international level. So then right now for the INOE project, for example, I left the UN, I built my own company, and now I'm facilitating the structuration of project intervention from the diaspora within institutional-based project or UN-based project. This is where I supported ADYFE. That's not the only thing we do. We are also doing a lot of how to bring digitalization within those projects to bring innovation, hence also why we're mentioning all of this during the DIDAs, the Innovation Days for Africa. And in INOE, what we did is with ADYFE, we contributed to the INOE project. the INOE project is a project that has been developed between UNIDO, the Senegalese government, and sponsored by the German cooperation to foster the development of smallholders and agriculture value chain, the structuration also of agricultural value chain in Casamance in Senegal, which is some of the areas there are very, very remote. So what we try to do is basically to find local solutions so that we can extend logistical line, and we could also support young entrepreneurs and already operating small holders, small producers to structure so that they can basically be able to enter a process of registering their project and their production online through very light tech. So we entered in contact with the people from the former panel. So with PAPS Logistic from Senegal, because for us it was really important to bring local solution to the local issues, right? This local challenges. This is all what we're trying to do. And on the other side, it's Africrea and Anka from Cadri that just did the presentation of what it is, so that we can offer very easily accessible online marketing platform, so that actually producers that were not having any access to this kind of market can now offer the product to the European market, the sub-region, and had the logistical solution to be able to do so. This is to contribute to the wider frame of the INOE project, which is to try to really foster the local economical development of local actor. And we're just plugging in solutions coming from the diaspora or local solutions based on technology, digitalization solution, doing the capacity building at our level, institution, and trying to build awareness on the local population on what can be the opportunities derived from there directly, so that also the diaspora can come and be able to invest and buy in product. And we are structuring them also so that they have the supply to be able to face a higher demand, because through this online platform that will allow the production from Casamance to be centered, I think we will have like a pickup point that will be like in Zinguinchor, because we're in Sédhiou, Kolda, the zone that the project is targeted by UNIDO are those zones. And so then extend them to Dakar, and then we will ship around. It will also provide like the help for them like to understand and take a deeper dive like into packaging and the importance of packaging, also for transportation related issues, so that it creates also like a harmonization on the way of producing, packaging, and presenting projects online. So that's a wrap up a bit of the project. Yeah.
Thank you, Ian. That sounds like a very exciting project. When did you start it, and what does INOE stands for?
INOE stands for it's a French. It's I don't have it memorized. Don't worry, I will come back to you on that. Because like we had like I'm not on my computer, so I don't have the document. We had to switch rooms and everything, technicalities. But yes. I will provide you with this. What we're intervening, the name of our project within the INOE framework is actually it's actually called the Diaspora Operational Plugging Plan, the DOPP. And
Diaspora
Operational Plugging Plan. And basically what we're trying to do through this is to have a framework of cooperation by ADYFE. Me, once again, like through YH Consulting, I'm only like facilitating. You know what I mean? I'm trying also to at the UN, I was already trying to do that, but it's a bigger house, so it's harder to do. You know, I'm a person like I'm coming from France. I'm a white man with blue eyes here based in Abuja, having the luck to provide my expertise to all of you guys, very inspirational. So it needs also like to place back like who is doing what within the development streams, you know? So me, I really like on the background, I'm trying to provide you with what I've learned, like humbly, so that you solution through your solution, what needs to be solutioned. There is a lot of solution in this sentence, but like, you know what I mean? Like, so we started the project, this project actually started in 2019. It's also, there is a side of the project from the UNIDO side that is also co-implemented in Ethiopia. So we're also targeting like those two countries like at the same time. And really the purpose is to boost job creation and local economic development, like I told you. So we started stepping in at the beginning of this year because 2020 also was quite tough for development organization to be able to roll out all their deliveries because of the slowdown of the entire world through the pandemic. So right now, actually, next week we will be in Senegal doing the part of training the small farmers there on the logistical packaging side, how to build their tiny online boutique so that they can offer the product, the importance of taking good pictures, etc. We're going there with the entire team actually, and also our technical partners, so Africrea and Paps Logistics. We will join the team there from the UNIDO side, the INOE project. Yeah, we will be there for 1 week to kickstart all of this. And anyway, like you will be kept posted if you follow ADYFE through all the different media that they have. We will continue updating like on the result, and you will see some of the footage there also coming in by next week, because we will have a media team with us to also like try to bring you guys on the ground there.
Thank you very much. I'll come back to you on that. You mentioned very interesting points, such as the different solutions that you have there, to give value to African, specifically Senegalese agri-food goods. So I'm going to come to Oluwafemi. So part of your work is also consists in valorizing African agri-food brands. So what are the challenges that these brands have? Why is your work necessary, pretty much? Could you hear me, Olafemi? Can you hear me? Yan? Can Yan or Andrew hear me?
Hello?
Yan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I had a quick jump in connection.
Yeah,
but I
just
can hear you
make sure
again.
that I want to know if Oluwafemi can hear me as well. Seems like.
Sorry, I can. What did you say?
Oh yes. So I was asking. Not necessarily in relation to what Yan said, but I know that your part of your work consists in valorizing African agri-food brands. So I was asking, what are the challenges for all these brands, and what it is that you do?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Oluwafemi Kijo. I am the CEO of DIDA2021, which is a Pan-African agri-food services working to shape an ecosystem that creates explosive brand. We're a startup. I think we're the most young company here because we just start our activity in Benin in January. So it's been just 10 months now. And we started by creating a platform that allow diaspora investors to invest in agriculture projects here in Benin. So when we start, we were a little bit in advance here in Benin because the jurisdiction, the law don't know about the crow landing. So as a startup, we have to iterate fastly. We have to find another value to bring, and then we focus on creative brand because we think that the future is not. We don't have really problem to cultivate land, to produce more, is my opinion. I think we have to transform better. We have to create brand that stand out. We have to show the world our treasure here in Africa, because we have many products to put on the spot, on the light. And I think the first challenge is about the branding. Is really important because most of the entrepreneurs here don't really think about the branding. They just think about, I don't know, just launch the product and do a little bit of marketing. And they forgot about the branding. That's the branding that will allow your customer to think about your product, to attribute a certain value to your project. So it's not just about agriculture, it's not just about how to produce more, but it's about how we can effectively transform this project and create this brand. Our challenge here is there are many challenges. Every day is a challenge, so I can't think about one to pick. And I think I will talk about finance first. But when you think about the diaspora, because we believe that the diaspora has a big role to play as a brand ambassador first for our product, but also as investor. So the first step, I think, is to create an environment that creates, I don't know, what can I say this, that our investors believe that they can really invest in those brands. Though I think the first challenge is about the finances, is about also the competence, the aptitude, because we talk about branding, it's not just marketing, it's from the ideation to product launch. We have many actors, we have many people that will work together to create the brand. So we talk about many competence in this ecosystem, and are working to shape this ecosystem. If I don't know, Jan, I don't know, I will take Jan because he's in front of me. He wants to create a brand. I don't know. I will take rice. I will take moringa. He wants to create powder moringa. Is a stunning packaging. He wants really through his brand tell a story. From the ideation to the product launch, we have many steps, many people that will work together. And as an entrepreneur, it's become fastidious. It become really difficult to go to search every partners. Oh, I need a producer. I will go find an agriculture. Oh, I need someone who will create me the packaging. Oh, I need someone to help me with the marketing. And at the end of the day, it's really frustrating for the entrepreneur. It really takes time. And our challenge is to create that ecosystem that will permit to Jan. Then when he comes to Dokuvi, he has all these partners working with him to create his brand. So the challenges is there to find the right people with the competence that we need, to find people that can help us achieve the vision quickly. I don't know, I can't think of just one challenge because the work is really there's many things to cover. And as someone of the diaspora, I'm Beninese. My advantage is I come from Benin, and the Dokuvi, even if it's created by two persons in the diaspora, I'm come from Benin, so this facilitates a little bit the interaction with local here. But as someone in the diaspora, it's sometimes difficult to apprehend what will happen. You have to relearn to work with this ecosystem, because it's not the same thing in Nigeria, it's not the same thing in Benin, it's not the same thing in Kenya. I think okay, we are in Africa, but every country has his particularities. And as an entrepreneur and really as a person of a diaspora, you have to learn to work with this particular country, learn how they work, put everything you learn on internet, on the stereotype. You have to put all that behind you and start really to learn to work with people here, because it's really important that you bring this value to the people. You have to ask yourself, okay, what can I give them? What is important? And for us is to create brand, because there are so many entrepreneurs here and in the diaspora they have a talent, they have a product they want to promote, but they don't know how to do it. And this is what we do, and these are our challenges. I don't know if I really answer correctly to your question, but if you have a particular thing to ask me, I will be sure to respond.
You did, absolutely. Thank you very much. And I saw there were quite a couple of questions for you in the chat. Perhaps I'll follow up with one. How do you convince the diaspora to invest in agribusinesses?
The question is for me?
Yes.
Okay. Our story it's particular because when we've been, we are Pan-African, and I think people know us, people believe in us because we always transparent. We always when we come in Benin, everything. We show them everything in our stories, video. We don't have anything. So people in the diaspora has an image of us, so they believe us because we start DIDA2021. We raised funds. We started DIDA2021 when we were in the diaspora in France, and people already support us. It's because of these people that DIDA2021 was created, because they give us their money to create DIDA2021. So they know our vision and they follow us. So that's first. Why agribusiness? Because we tell them every day that I think that agri-food, agribusiness, I don't know what word you want to use, but Africa, we have this is just amazing as an entrepreneur. How many things we can do in this sector of it is just incredible, because when you think about agribusiness, you just see the food, the packaging, the transformation, but there are many sectors that work with this sector. So it's not really complicated to show investor that they are really they are big thing to do. Certainly in Benin, I don't want to say that we're late. No. But still, things started to explode. I want to say that, and it's not really difficult to convince them that we all entrepreneurs, the investors, they want to know if the sector has potential, has money, and we show them that there are very big things to do here. So it's not really complicated. Like I said, it's the branding of DIDA2021 to show them what is possible. And I think people believe us because we have value. And this is because of this value that we hear. So there are many things that we do to convince them.
Thank you. So perhaps just before I go to Charles, do you look for the investors or do you attract the investors? I think that's what, and if you attract them, how do you attract them? Because I think the answer you gave was more of somebody coming to see you.
I think when it's come to investment, when I think about it, it's a little bit weird to say this, but we never chase investors. They come to us. Yeah. I don't know, it's because of the story of two young couple that start the company in Benin. They leave everything behind. They create job. I don't know if it's it, but we never chase investor. And here now, it's a little bit sad to say that we can't even satisfy them because we're working to satisfy them, but we can't, because our startup has to grow a little bit before embrace those investors. So we didn't chase them. They come to us, and we are trying to find partnership. Because if DIDA2021 can't really provide those investors with project all the time, because we start with one project that since 2 months now, and what we really want to show that from the ideation of the product launch, we keep it in DIDA2021 in the ecosystem. So we create, our first project was about, how did you say this in English?
Try in French.
Du piment, I forgot, I have a,
Piment.
Sorry?
You mean spices?
Yes. Okay. We start. So thank you. We start with spices, and this spice we transform the spices, and we propose it's just 100, but we propose these spices that we package, we transform. We're here with the help of local, but also with the help of diaspora, and we sell this is to show them that from the beginning of the project to the product launch, we were able to do it just in 10 months. So just imagine if we are many people that invest in DIDA2021. Imagine what we will create if just in 10 months we were 4 people. We create this. It's called Elixir Épicé. We create this. Just imagine what we can create together. So I don't
That's a
remember
very
what
good.
was the question.
No, you answered it. That's a very good name, Elixir Épicé.
Yes.
Gives some charms to it, right?
Yes.
And as we're getting back to Charles, because I see we lost him for a minute, what does DIDA2021 mean?
DIDA2021 is mean child of enfant de la richesse, child of wealthness in
Of
French.
wealth, okay.
In French, it's a language that we speak very friendly in. Here is Benin, so it's mean child of wealthness, enfant de la richesse,
That is.
to show what we have here.
Speaking of branding, that is a very, very good name. Enfant de la richesse. My next question, I'll be moving to Charles. Charles, are you with us? Hello, Charles. Can you hear me? Oh, we cannot hear you, Charles.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you, Charles, for being with us. So how do you ensure access to information to young people in rural areas? And please tell us more about Rural Nigeria Hub.
Okay, I am Charles Bolu, co-founder and director at Rural Nigeria Hub.
Can you please bring the microphone next to you, closer to you?
Can you hear me better now?
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Rural Nigeria Hub is Nigeria's first university embedded incubator, founded within the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, which is in the southeastern part of the country. And this is a community of about 40,000 students, but a bit remote, far from the key markets and the big cities. So for us to provide them incubation in that environment, we're able to do that. But then for them to be able to access markets, put their products in the spaces and get visibility for the startups, we focus on making sure that we amplify the things that they do, especially digitally. But importantly, I mean, before COVID, we also ensure that we take them on fairs, events, engagements, hackathons, tech festivals in the bigger cities like Lagos, Abuja, sometimes Enugu, which is closer by, and Port Harcourt. And that way they are able to put their businesses out there, the startups, and we've been able to gain some traction and mileage doing that.
Thank you very much. And so how did this, perhaps I should ask, how long has your hub been running? And do you fund those young people after assisting them?
So typically we don't fund directly, and the hub was founded in 2016, which is about 5 years ago. But we do get the startups funded through different means, sometimes through the local angel networks, through local investors, and sometimes through corporate intervention programs. Like in 2017, 2018, we got funding from Facebook, where they funded and focused on startups that were dealing with deep technologies. things around artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and stuff like that. They provided support both in cash and in kind. So that's typically the way we funded, but we are looking to being able to access the kind of funds that ensure that as they go through their incubation program, they also have that don't stop them in their tracks to be able to move the product and their businesses forward.
All right, and I believe your incubations program is in English primarily.
Yes.
And Nigeria is in a region that is predominantly francophone. Is there any plan to give access to francophone businesses?
We will very much love that. In fact, that's some of the conversation I was having with ADYFE to say this morning, actually, where we were having conversations around the fact that multilingual or bilingual conversations need to begin to happen deeper and at a more structured level in Nigeria. For instance, last year, we won the AfriLabs grant to develop a project called the DEN. And we won that in collaboration with a hub called Sinolu out of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So that DEN is a portal that will enable incubators across Africa, starting with the AfriLabs network, which at this point is across 51 African countries, to have a digital means to enable them start incubation programs, run incubation programs, track incubation programs, and also have templates, data, processes that they can build upon. So this we are delivering, but it's going to be open source for people to be able to contribute. And beyond French, we also are planning for a Swahili version of the DEN from next year. And those are some of the conversations we've had during this conference. So it's something that we really, really look forward to. Typically, almost all schools in Nigeria take French at least at the secondary level, but at the engagement level, not so much is being done to bring it closer mainstream. I know there's a full French faculty at the University of Nigeria, where Rural Nigeria is resident. They are very much interested, but I think it takes some element of collaboration and perhaps even some funding that encourages French-backed startups or startups that are targeting maybe even the francophone markets to empower such initiative.
Thank you. We were talking about job creation and cooperation of the diaspora with local communities. Are you there? There was some glitch. Sorry. Yes. So as we are talking about job creation and the cooperation with the diaspora, Charles, I wanted to know, to what extent does rural Nigeria work with perhaps the Nigerian diaspora? Do you get any fundings from the diaspora, whether it be in kind or in technical supports?
At this point, we haven't gotten cash funding from the Nigerian diaspora, but a lot of technical support, direct collaborations, access to markets that have been provided, especially leveraging the alumni networks of the university, which have a lot of strong alumni associations across a few diaspora markets. But at this time, there has been no direct funding. And it's also one area that we are looking at having, where we bring in, especially when you talk about the job creation, some of the areas we've identified, because we are a tech-focused hub, is the area of digital skills. Like I said, we are in a region where the unemployment rate is quite high. I think as of December last year, for the country, it stood at about 33%. And if you look at the area of focus for us, which is typically around people that have entered into the higher institutions and beyond, you have about 5 million graduates across the country who are unemployed. And so we participate a lot in providing them digital skills. And some of the key areas where we see matching possibilities is being able to provide, because the jobs aren't really here, but the huge digital skills that our tech talent that is needed in the diaspora markets is a huge potential area for such collaboration, which doesn't really require so much cash capital outlay upfront, but more in the area of availability of work, which they can then earn. So we are focusing on supporting a lot of edtech startups who are able to reach a lot of people, some of these unemployed people, provide them the skills that are needed, be able to place them in markets across the world, global markets that need tech talent, and of course can get them from Africa. So these are the areas we look at, but of course there will be financial requirements for supporting some of those startups, but at this time we haven't accessed any. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. I'm going to come back to you, Jan, and the INOE project. We've heard the different activities from Oluwafemi. I can hear myself double.
It's
hello?
from the mic, I think. It's okay now.
Okay.
Can you go again? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yes, so I said I'm going to come back to you because we've heard the different projects from Oluwafemi and from Charles. And with the INOE project, you were mentioning that you're starting in Senegal. Is there an ambition or a plan to go in the region, for example, Nigeria or Benin? And if so, how would you see the convergences with the different projects?
Okay, thanks. That's a very good question, my friend. So first, I have the name for INOE project. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll get back. So it's Investissement pour des nouvelles opportunités d'emploi.
Okay.
Investing for new job opportunities in Senegal. This is an initiative that is driven directly by the government, and basically through that initiative, they needed more capacity to increase their impact. That's why they went and seek for the support of UNIDO within the country. And the funding is coming from BMZ, so the German cooperation. So like that, you have the entire framing of the... Inside of that, we came in with ADYFE, through ADYFE, and I've been helping them, like building the project. So yes, actually, this Diaspora Operational Plugin Plan that I mentioned, the DOPP, it's one of the products that we developed with ADYFE, that ADYFE like developed and I supported them with that. That is aiming at being something that we can scale, so that we can basically find our way of proceeding with a UN-backed organization, you know, that is doing this kind of project, where we can channel really the potential of the diaspora within industrial development and market access, capacity building, technology transfer, know-how transfer, and we want to replicate it. So right now, for example, we already started like discussions also for intervening in Guinea-Bissau, which has a twinning project there, also with the German cooperation. As I told you, this project, so one part is in Senegal through the INOE project in Senegal, and there is another part that is in Ethiopia under another initiative there. So we're also looking into what could be done also in Ethiopia. And basically, it's really to start building products and frameworks of intervention that is helping actually entrepreneurs, either from the continent or from the diaspora. Most likely it will be hybrid, right? It will be, because the aim is really to connect both ecosystems, right? Like that's what we're trying to do. To actually have access to this kind of project, this kind of funding, and you know, all these kinds of dynamics. We had a very interesting conversation. We had some entrepreneurs also driving an initiative in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We were having a dinner yesterday with Yusuf and them, and we were exactly talking about that topic. What we're aiming at is actually showing that there is a seat at the table. Until now, a lot of the development partners were building their own ecosystem as like powers coming in with a lot of funding and building projects that is actually supposedly having impact hand in hand with governments and maybe funds or banks like the African Development Bank or the World Bank. And at the end of all of this, like what we could see was that at the end of the projects were actually collapsing most often. Some of them were still like working, had a really great impact, but a lot of them were also post the financing, post the date time of when the cooperation is ending. Then the people that you created job with are not supported. It was no sustainability in that approach. So that's why we're trying to bring the beneficiaries at the moment of building the project, so that we really foster this grassroots development. So for us, it's really important that the diaspora is there, because they really have like a mastery of their craft. So the project that they're carrying, like when you hear the different right here, right now, you know what I mean? Like you can see, like they really thought through real innovation that are also adequate for where they are evolving. We're trying just like to facilitate that they can evolve at that level. But what we're trying to do most of it is also to create the awareness that Yusuf was saying at the first session, the first roundtable on the first day of the DIDA, that is one of the few believing that it has to be done with institutions. It needs to be hand in hand with institutions, because basically a lot of entrepreneurs don't have the awareness that, for example, they are contributing to the sustainable development goals that have been like voted like by the United Nations that needs to be reached by 2030. Through all of this, the fact that you, through a project that is entrepreneurial for you, your entrepreneurial journey, you're actually completely participating to bigger frames, to a bigger picture. Because from the moment onwards that you're bringing back innovation and technology within the continent to develop local economic opportunities, you are having a social impact. So through that social impact, you are actually directly contributing to achieving wider goals. And through doing this, you can actually completely enter that seat that is at the table. You can sit there. You have actually a voice, and you should occupy that space. So that's what ADYFE has been trying to do, to bring you guys, entrepreneurs that want to come back to the continent, that want to set up shop over the continent, putting you guys together, facilitating the fact that you can interact and build expertise towards each other, fostering soft clusters, so building economic communities that are transcontinental, most likely because it's in Europe, but also sometimes we work also with Canada and things like this. Other countries, it's not like a monolith. And yeah, slowly achieving more and more that the beneficiaries and the diaspora, which is literally bridging both continents and increasing at an insane rate, it's really tenfolding the impact on the project. And that's what we're trying to showcase. So I really believe that, as you said, like the DOPPs will be scaled up, and we will really, like, our goal is really to make them happen in different countries. This is only the beginning.
Yes. And following up on that, as an institution, did you find it hard to access information in Senegal and in Ethiopia for the projects that you're running?
At our, it's you know, since I'm coming from the UN, I also have this is my turf. Like, I know where to look. Like like this was the basics for our job, right? So that's also what I'm bringing in, like in the projects. Like, I know where to scratch. I know which door to knock at. The same goes with ADYFE. Like, they've been evolving and doing like an amazing job in creating networks and being able to anchor at very high level, politically speaking, whether it is in Europe, whether it is in Africa. So access to information is also what we do, because we actually have a lot of information through the project that we're developing. We really have the know-how on how to be sure that when you arrive somewhere, you know which ecosystem you need to evolve in, you know which partner you need to contact. Because a lot of the time what is happening, what we've been experiencing, and I'm not teaching anything here, is the fact that when entrepreneurs from the diaspora are coming back to the continent, they are all with dealing with the ecosystem. The first panel today was a lot about this, like you facing some very slow processes. Sometimes there is like some corruption to be dealt with. You don't know the real ecosystem builders there, how to contact, which hubs to contact, etc. And so we're building those bridges straight up so that we facilitate this soft landing. So we are also providing this information. On our side, we have it. This is part of our job to have access to it. So we're not really struggling because we're really directly in contact with the authorities. Now, for example, with the project like INOE, we're directly in contact with the government. We're directly in contact with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization that does like this entire, how to say, mapping out of the different like initiatives, politics, like funds that are existing also in the country. We contribute to that too. So
thank you.
Yeah.
And what I hear, and you clarified it very well, is that you are in a unique position because you come from the UN, and so you've had years of practicing where to knock, where to scratch. So I'd like to ask the same question to Oluwafemi. My question is, it's actually a question that's in the chat here, is or was access to information difficult for you as a Beninese diaspora in regard to your startup?
On the contrary to Yan, it's I don't want to say it's difficult, but it's the challenge. It's when you're in the diaspora, you have an image. You think they are what you think and what is real. I think I will tell it like that. And once, from my experience, when I was in the diaspora, I was already talked to local people that can help me grow my company here. So during 1 year, I was doing the travel between France and Benin before really being started here. So it's a challenge. Now it's okay because there are things that I understand, there are things that I learn. I put my my ego behind me. It's a challenge, and we are not an institution. We are a startup, and we're trying to. It's really sometimes complicated. But if you find the right person to talk to, if you sell your vision right, it's okay. I love my country. I love Africa. I love also Benin, but there are things that need to be said. Sometimes there's corruption. People that want money. There are many things, and this is the message to the diaspora. Please don't think that you can create your company when you in your country, in the diaspora, or in French, Canada. You have to come here to see for yourself. You have to be aware of what are the challenges. If you don't do that, if you stay there, if you don't really imprint yourself with the ecosystem here, it will be really difficult. You will get many slap of life here, and you have to wake up quickly. You have to be here. I think it's important to know that you have to learn something, because it's not because you succeed in France or in Canada, in the US, that you will be succeed. In an African country, there are people that you need to know. Everything is about, I think, the network. I will put network. I'm sorry, people can disagree with me, but you have to put network first before I think your competence or your abilities, because it's really important as someone of the diaspora. But I think I have I don't know if I can say a joker or something, but I speak the native language I'm perfect myself, and sometimes it's break barrier, really. Sometimes I when I want to discuss with a local, when I bring my French, doesn't do. So when I start to speak in my native language, they just open. They think, okay, so she's like us. She can understand our challenges, because the problem is when we're in the diaspora, when we don't have all the information, we are not close to the needs. So you think about technology. There are some technology in Benin that will not work because we're not ready. You have to take in consideration many things. So it's not difficult, it's the challenge. You have to have a big matter to succeed, but it's possible, because when you start to have your network, you start to know people, how it's work, how you have to say things, it becomes easier. That's it.
Thank you. And so I hear that regardless of, I mean, despite the disadvantage that you had of not necessarily knowing the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Benin, you had the advantage of speaking the native language, and this gave you more. It gave you leverage. In regard to somebody else. I will come to Charles with the same question, as he's in Nigeria. You want to say something,
Yeah,
Jan?
just I wanted to add something just right there, because the testimony of Olu right now is really exactly like she has faced all those challenges and she knows now. So that's where these moments like are very precious, like, and that's why like ADYFE has been building all of this. This is like to foster this knowledge transfer, because someone has been through. There is no country where no one has tried yet. So it is about connecting people, exactly like putting the network first, so that you can find the people that can support you at local level, that can help you to understand what is happening in there. You also already had returnee experience, like on building entrepreneurial journey in Africa. And so the aim is really to facilitate this transfer of knowledge, exactly like what happened right now. So really, thank you for that.
Thank you. And so that's a very good point. And since we have the opinion of somebody from an institution, we have the opinion of the diaspora. Charles, I'm coming to you. As a local entrepreneur, do you find it yourself hard to access information in Nigeria?
Sorry, what's the question again?
So I was saying, as a local entrepreneur, do you find it hard to access information in Nigeria? I know that your work is to share information, but you need to gather some as well yourself. Do you find it hard to gather those information?
Well, I'd say in some cases, yes, but agreeing a bit with Jan, for local information, I typically know where to look. I have been involved in entrepreneurship for over a decade, and in these spaces, I typically know where to go, be it government data. Sometimes it may not be data that may even be readily available, but I know how to engage at the government level, at the individual level, at the trade unions or commerce levels, to find exactly how things work. Sometimes I'd say, I'll speak specifically for Nigeria, you may go online and check out what information or a process to certain kinds of things you may want to do. What you find online may be totally different, or may be the farthest route for you to achieve that goal. So it's not so difficult for me, but I know that it's a bit of confusion in that area. I would imagine what a diaspora person may face trying to find the same kind of data. And in the work that I've done, I've engaged a bit with people coming in, either trying to set up businesses or trying to collaborate, or even sometimes people leaving corporate jobs and trying to get into the space of building or developing businesses or startups, suddenly realizing that things are not exactly what they seem. But I can say that it's easy if you know who you're talking to. If you get into the right hands, you will find things a bit faster than you may do if you're looking online with a lot of things. So that's my perspective on the matter. If someone wants to achieve certain things, it would be nice to ensure that you're collaborating with the right people, or even in the institutions that you're specific about what you want. And I'd say, even though this may sound a bit off, sometimes what you see online is not exactly what you get. You may want to double check that with your local sources, people or credible people that you can find out, or people that have done it before. If you find out how did you exactly do this, then you may find yourself on the right path and saving a lot of time, sometimes even money, and it may ensure that you're closer to success with whatever it is that you're attempting to do.
Thank you. I'm very happy to hear what you say, because of course, as I said, oh, can you hear me? We have the perspective. We have the perspective of the diaspora. We have the perspective of the local community, and also the perspective from the institutions, and that gives us, different angles on how to approach entrepreneurship and access to information on the continent. So my question, this is an open question for the three of you. How can the diaspora, take advantage of the opportunities that you have? And I'm saying the diaspora at large, not just the Beninese diaspora or the Nigerian diaspora or the Senegalese diaspora, but how can the diaspora at large take advantage of the opportunities that you are creating on the continent today? Perhaps I'll start in reverse. I'll start with Charles, and then we'll go to Olufemi, and then Jan. Charles?
Thank you. That's a very, very brilliant question. I would say one of the first things to do is you need to, there's no way you can eat pudding without tasting it. You have to put it in your mouth at some point. So I will say the first thing is, if you want to benefit as a diasporan, it will be very important to get your boots on the ground. You can start small with short visits, and sometimes you don't necessarily even have to fully relocate, but you must visit. For instance, if you read the news about security issues about Nigeria, for instance, and you never land Lagos or Abuja or move around a bit, you will probably never even attempt. And I think this is the same for quite a lot of African countries as well. So getting your boots on ground is number one. Number two is to understand that the opportunities here are huge, and a lot of times they are several times X what you may be able to get in other countries. And if there's open-mindedness, ability to listen in between what is said by 2 or 3 different people, and learn, and understand that there are, in my place, they say there are many ways to kill a rat. If you realize that sometimes those processes that work may be very different here. For instance, I'll give an example of dealing with talent. Dealing with talent in Africa, specifically Nigeria, may be slightly different from dealing with talent wherever a diaspora may be coming from. So getting a good insight on how to deal with it, what kind of operational environments to create, what kind of expectations to create, may also enable the people to benefit more. For instance, if you realize that internet can be a challenge, then you may want to make sure that that is not a challenge in your environment and for those people you may be working with. It may also help in even building processes and systems designs that may help a business or an entrepreneur to succeed, understanding the local challenges and how they differ hugely from city to city. It will be very, very detrimental to, for instance, map a Lagos with an Nsukka in terms of infrastructure, in terms of expectations, and even in terms of typical exposure of the people. You can build an app that works in Lagos, like it may work in London, and then in Nsukka or Onitsha or Ibadan, it is not accepted by the market as much. So this is another point to note. The fourth point is that I must say this: you realize that a lot of people have very few options. A lot of the young people have very few options until they begin to get a little bit of exposure. So identifying the basic needs and being able to sieve that from what people actually say is also a very, very helpful tip. What I mean by that is you can find someone that studied microbiology telling you that I can do marketing or I can do accountancy because of their immediate need. So working and collaborating with local people that know and understand the market may really be very, very, very helpful. And I wish to see a lot more collaborative businesses that are built that way, because they do have stronger chances of sustainability and success over time. I think that would stop there for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your deep insight and for your answer. Oluwafemi.
It will be difficult to do better after Charles. I would say, as someone in the diaspora and for the little experience that I have, like Charles said, the first thing is come see for yourself. I think this is the first thing. Learn as much as you can about the sector that you want to impart, about the value you want to bring. Come here, come see for yourself, be open, be humble. It's really important here. En tout cas, in Benin here, it's really important to be humble, to not think that, to not claim that you have superior wisdom or something like that. Be humble, be open, listen to what people say, start meeting with people that are in the area that you want to impact. In Benin, there are a break between classes. You have really rural people that have needs, and you have people that's a little bit more wealth. You have to find the segment that you want to impact, the needs, and be open. It's really, really important. Be tolerant, and I think you will see opportunities as it comes. As an entrepreneur, if you come, I will talk about Benin. I don't know about Nigeria, but I will talk about Benin. There are many opportunities here. The government is encouraging the diaspora to invest, to come, to create. So the atmosphere, the ecosystem is I think it's perfect for the diaspora who wants to invest here. So that's it for me. Come see for yourself, be open, learn as much as you can, and do not hesitate to talk to people. I think when I come here, I was a little bit shy. I was afraid too, and you have to break your shyness. You have to go talk to people, to speak your truth, and everything will be okay. There are institutions here that help people of the diaspora to invest. So you have to find the right person. In the Beninese diaspora, there are many junior entrepreneur startups that start to really stand out. So information is there. Go for it.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your answer.
A jump of connection.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Jan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold on. Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you.
Okay, I have a drop of connection. I don't know if you listen to everything. So that's it.
Yes, we heard everything.
Okay.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Jan, yes.
Yeah, I think like so me. That's just one tiny precision. Right now, I'm no more working for the institutions, right? Like it's just like I have that experience that I'm bringing in. Now I have like my own like consulting firm that is like really working on facilitating access for other entrepreneurs. So strategizing on how to access to different funds, opportunities, review some of the way you do your business, basically, and try to maximize them, like review them, maybe mainstream them with other ways of being able to do operation. And that through a lot of bringing in digital solutions and digitalization and dematerialization of services, right? That's why I'm working a lot with ADYFE, actually. Because this is all the topics like we're doing together right now. So I will remain maybe like a bit more hovering, less on the how diaspora can go on the ground and everything, but more like talking about entrepreneurship and the role of diaspora within development, because that's what I've been focusing on for the past 5 years, basically. There is one thing to know. It's just like remittances are nowadays like 3 times the spendings of international development aid. This is the biggest influx of money ever seen. So despite the fact that there is a lot of still like red tapes and taxations and issues with money transfer, liquidity, and money fluctuation, also the different rates within the countries, I think like with all of this and all the skills that have been built and all the willingness also for the people to build entrepreneurial project over the continent, there is only opportunities lying ahead. The thing is, like we were exploring right now, it's like sometimes the lack of knowledge, but then you can enter in contact with people like Charles. The lack of feedbacks from people that have already done it, and then you can go like towards someone like Olu, and with like this you have also like, of course, like other networks, other ways of doing it, but it has never been that easy with all the social media, all of this. And I think like entrepreneurship at the higher level is just you trying to build a better future, right? Like through what you're trying to bring about, you're seeing a challenge and you're trying to fix it through your product. A lot of time when you talk to entrepreneurs, this is actually, we all share the same core. It's like, I've seen this, it's not working very well. I think I can bring on a solution. For example, Rui, that is like building the factory plant to bring e-cars and e-mobility in Dakar, Senegal, that was intervening in the panel before, is exactly like that. It's non-existent. Why wouldn't I give it a shot? Like, I've seen like that there is an issue, there is like pollution in Dakar a lot. This project I've not seen the day yet. I will give it a try. So like everybody said right now, I think like to bounce back on what Charles and Olu mentioned, like coming, visiting in, being able also really like to enter in contact with the local business, and then like being very humble in front of the fact that there is a lot of things you will not know and that you need to learn, and you just need to adapt and keep an open mind, because basically it's endless. The opportunities over your respective countries are endless, because there are a lot of things to be built, and so far there is very few people that can do it better than you guys, like bringing on like a lot of the skills that you've been able to learn from where you've been brought up, and bringing it back to where you want it to be. I think this is really what we've been seeing, and it's a great honor to be able to just support all of that.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I think this will be our time. We had until 12:30, and we'll try to stick to the program. Thanks a lot, and thank you again, because you just gave me the word of closing. Opportunities are endless. Keep an open mind, and I believe that this is how Charles and Oluwafemi, pardon, were able to create the businesses because they knew that the opportunities were endless and they kept an open mind. Thank you very much. Thank you for participating, and thank you for the questions in the chat. Keep on following the program of DIDA. There's still some activities happening this afternoon. Make sure you connect. And if you missed this session and the session prior to this one, you can find them on the YouTube of ADYFE, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
you can still follow us on YouTube and on Facebook.
Thank you. Thank you very much.